Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside Podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hello there, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside Podcast. I am Joe Panther III. Just don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to this channel, the Joe Panther Variety Show, on here and on Spotify. Today, I have a young lady that is absolutely blazing a trail for herself on the independent wrestling scene in Texas, because everything's bigger in Texas. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to Maddie. Welcome, Maddie. Welcome to Dudes at Ringside.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So if my East Coast fans are not familiar with you, and why would they not be, introduce yourself.
For the East Coast fans, hello. Hi. My name is Mandy Wylde. And I guess the reason you wouldn't know me, well, it's probably because you just don't watch wrestling at any point in your life or any kind of independent wrestling, because I do go to Reality of Wrestling. That is my home base. Booker T's WWE ID school. So there's lots of us going on and interaction in the social media world. So, I mean, you might have seen my face pop up randomly here and there in a training video or picture. But yeah, that would be where you would know me from. Otherwise, I am a small town girly. I'm very small town.
That's why we get along so well, Miss Wylde. I live in a small town in Pennsylvania. Literally, people say, "Oh, it's not a small town, Joe." Yeah, we only have one stoplight. So, yeah,
that's small town, definitely.
Yeah, and half the town knows about me, and I don't know. None of them really watch wrestling. So they're like, "Joe's the podcast." It's nice. It's almost like they want to do this to me. Nice job.
Yeah, the little tap. I get that a lot.
It's like they want to shoo me back into the corner. Here, Joe, hold this. Go in the corner. It's like
go off.
Yeah, every time. So, Miss Wylde, so what made you get into professional wrestling?
Ooh, I mean, I get this question asked a lot, and I feel like the answer always comes back to it. There's an initial answer, which is obviously I started watching when I was a kid. My dad got me into it. And then I guess the adult answer is I went to 2 different WrestleManias, and the first one I kind of broke my wrist at, and the second one I told myself, I was like, I'm going back to this Mania without any broken bones. And I don't know, I think just the energy and everything of it changed, and just watching it when I was younger, the product was so much different than what it is now, especially for, the women's division. Completely changed, like 360, so when I was younger, even watching, like, the era that I was watching was like Lita and like Trish and them. So I feel like as much as other girls looked up to them, there was still no one that I could really look up to at the time, because I'm 5'1". I'm such a small person, and even those girls are like, they're not giants, but they're definitely bigger than me, and so at that age I was like 3 foot tall, I think. But yeah, so once I kind of got back introduced to it in like the 2013-14 years, and that's when obviously Becky had taken over. Charlotte was huge. AJ Lee had already run her run. So you had all these different types of women, sizes, colors, ages, that were just like owning the division. And I was like, you know what? I think it's time that I like see what's going on and just like dabble in. I want to go to an event. And the first one I went to was a Royal Rumble. It was 2020 when Edge returned, of course.
I was about to say, wait a minute. That was the one in the Houston Astros Stadium, right?
Yes, it was. And that was my very first like WWE event ever. And so I kind of fell in love with it again after like watching it as a kid. And the girls, and I just was like, yeah, that could be me. That is me. That's me, but I'm not there, So eventually I found out that Reality of Wrestling was right around the corner, and I was like, I think it's time. I think it's time to do this. And WrestleMania 40, when I went, that just seeing everyone and the fans and the energy and meeting different wrestlers and superstars, I was like, yeah, I think I want to do this. And yeah, called up Reality of Wrestling and started like a month later.
Wow, that's awesome. So when
Yeah.
you started at Reality Wrestling, what
Mhm.
was the welcome like? Did you immediately feel like this is where you belong?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm older ish. I don't want to say older like I'm old, but my 20s, I feel like it was just a crazy time, you know what I mean? And when you go through your 20s, I feel like that's the point of it, is to kind of figure out who you are. And I think that coming into Reality of Wrestling, I found that third factor of myself. And they always say that being a wrestler and your gimmick or character is supposed to be like you dialed up times 100, you know? And I think that I've always kind of known that there was a dialed up version of me. I just didn't know how to express it. So going into Row and knowing that that's what I was getting myself into, and the people that were around me understood it as well. Like they knew what I was going through, and they're like, yeah, we get it. It's the same thing here. It was nice, you know, like the energy from everyone is so like, they just want better for you. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, we're all here for each other. We're all here to support and wrestle and entertain the fans and do what we love. So it was really so good to come into Row, truly, for myself and for the fans that are enjoying Mandy Wild so far, you know?
That's awesome. That's so cool. Like, what was what was that? What would you say? You had to say like your toughest part of toughest day, toughest part of the training that you want to talk about? That you had to deal with?
I think it's the mental aspect of it. Honestly, I'm tough when it comes to like physical stuff. Like I will get back up no matter what. Like there are some things that'll keep me down, don't get me wrong, but I will fight through it. But they're very true to what they say when wrestling is a mental game and not just a physical game, because it will try you. It will try you mentally, like to push through things, to push through injuries, to push through even training, you know, like I think we're all hard headed and stubborn in our own way as wrestlers. You know, we're just different breeds of people. And when you have trainers and things, it's hard not to want to learn your own way. And for me, it was like that. Like I learned a specific way. So I had to like readjust and be like, okay, this is how they're going to teach. So I need to accept this. And if it changes another day, I need to roll with the changes. Wrestling moves so fast, you know, so you have to be willing to be ready to change your style with whoever is training you, you know. So for me, it was just learning how to acclimate and change quickly with training, you know. That was the biggest thing for me. I feel so far. I'm sure there's gonna be more, but so far.
Awesome. So what was your very first match like? And did you have this whole Matty Wild persona already down for your first match, or was that a building process for you?
I think it was definitely a building process. So my first match, thankfully, was with someone that I truly like really look up to, you know, and even with my character, I feel like I hadn't been fully developed yet. I think you kind of need that first match to kind of figure out who you are. No one really goes out there and has a gimmick already done unless you're like someone that's got like a name already in the industry. I'm just going to use an example because Zilla Fatu, you know, he's got an entire bloodline of people that like
Yep.
behind him in wrestling. So he kind of, not necessarily saying he knows who he is, but he's got that factor in him already that he can embellish on. You know what I'm saying? So I think for
Yeah.
someone like me who doesn't have any of that, and I'm just like going on a whim, like that debut is really what sets your tone for your character. So for me, I think it just set a fire. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, you lost your debut. And it's like, yeah, I lost my debut. But I feel like for me, losing my debut is what really kind of created the Mandy Wild character, you know, because that loss set a fire in me. You know, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. You're not always gonna win in wrestling, you know,
Yeah.
that's it. You know, everyone goes out thinking in your big debut match that you're gonna win and it's gonna be this great, you know, beautiful start of a story, you know, and it's not always that way. So you're gonna take the losses, you're gonna take the heat. So I think the grit is what established myself and like said, hey, I can hang with these people. And even though I may be 5'1", when I'm standing on business, I'm 5'5". So, that really set the bar for me. So no, I had a little bit of an idea of who my character was going into that debut, but after the debut is really where I began to see what I was made of and who I was truly, how I wanted to continue.
It's amazing. So what does it feel like to work with a person like Booker T? Because that man, he must have like years and years of knowledge that you probably have had already. He probably have said it during the meetings before practice or when you first got there. So what does it feel like to like learn from that learning tree of like that man that's been in that tag team? And then he went solo when then he took off. Like,
It's incredible, and it's one of the reasons why that I came to reality of wrestling, because of Booker T and the knowledge that he has. Anytime he's in there, talking to us, it's like all eyes are focused on him, because what he's talking about really is what they want in WWE. So if you're trying to try out, if you're trying to get seen or noticed, or want your appearance, your gimmick, whatever it is, if you want to be part of that company, Booker T, I can guarantee you, has got the words to be able to get you there. He's not gonna get you there. Like, that's not his job. His job is not to take you to WWE. It's his job to give you the knowledge to get yourself there. And it's, if you want to take it and run with it, have at it. But if you don't, then don't waste his time, kind of thing. Because he is a very busy man. So, like, when he's there, you take advantage of it. And I've learned so much from him, and the things that he says, I really understand. Like, I think the one thing that I always hear him say is wrestling is like ballet, but at the same time, wrestling obviously is not ballet because it's wrestling, but it's like a dance. That's one of the biggest things that I've taken away from that, because I've got a background in dance. I've got 16 years of dance experience in a studio.
wow.
So it's like that. I always resonate with that, because it is a lot like a dance. You're working with that other person to create something that the people to the physical eye is going to be appeasing, And so little technique things, if you mess up and stuff like that, only you and that person are going to know. Maybe like an audience member that is in on it and knows as well, but a lot like dance, the same way. You mess up something on stage, technique, you'll know, but as long as you can pull it off and make it look good, the average eye is not going to know, and it'll look right. So there's little things that Booker will implement and like say that I'm just like, man, like, I get it. Like, that makes sense. Just feed me more. Give me more knowledge. I want more. I wish he was there like all the time, but he's Booker T, man. He's 2-time Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Like,
10-time tag team champion.
Exactly. Yeah, he's incredible. I love Booker. I love Sharmell.
You're going to laugh, Maddie. I actually interviewed Stevie Ray on this podcast years ago. His brother.
Sick.
Oh my gosh, the thing he said that literally that day, I'm like, it's probably not gonna, that nothing from that podcast is gonna get remembered forever. All I'm gonna say is Stevie Ray called Stone Cold Steve Austin a female body part that day, and then everybody remembers that episode. If I can find that clip, I would send it to you. You would die. You would fall out of your chair and just be like, Warner Brothers dead. You were like, no, come back.
Find it for me.
I gotta find it. I'll find it later, but it's funny.
Okay.
Like, he literally says, he's like, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's the biggest pussy on earth.
I love it. That's
and
crazy.
We were just like,
wow.
I was
that's
like, well,
talk, man.
I was like, damn.
Those are fighting words.
The next day, I can't get the messages. I can't. If I still had all the messages, you'd be laughing. It was like, dude, did that just happen? I'm like, yes. Me and my friends were like, whoa. This guy I used to work with was like, dude, I went to work, Joe, and everybody was saying, did you just have a moment on Dudes at Ringside that no one's going to forget? I was like, yeah. It was like, damn. It'll take it for me a while to scroll on Instagram to find the clip, but it's there, like, and bright-eyed. So, it's like, with your match schedule and your training schedule at the school, is it harder? Is you find it easier or hard to like manage your schedule between like training and like shows and stuff like that?
Oh, it's incredibly difficult. It's insanely difficult. Between shows, because we have an extra show now. We have 3 shows running at Reality of Wrestling. We've got Platinum, Glory, and Breakout. Platinum and Glory are our 2 live shows, and then Breakout is our student show. So that's for like obviously the students, trainees, anyone trying to move up onto the big roster. And it's complicated because those Saturday shows are all day, and then with training, I go 2 to 3 times a week. I try if I can. And then I work, and then also with strength training. So it's a lot of gym. It's a lot of training. I'm there. I think I'm at Reality of Wrestling more than I am home. Sometimes I'm like, man, I need to set up a bed here or something and get some comforters, set up in the ring in the back. But yeah, it can be a little difficult because you're going from work. I go from work straight to training on like Fridays, Tuesdays. I'm off work on Mondays, but I still train on Mondays and then Wednesdays as well. And then we have a student show. We have our shows every other Saturday for the live show. And then this upcoming weekend, we've got a breakout show. We just had a show yesterday. And Trick Williams was there. Zeta Steele was there. Big show. And so then I worked today, and then training tomorrow, and then more training Tuesday, then training Wednesday, possibly training on Friday, and then no show Saturday, but a show on Sunday. So
wow, you got everywhere going. You're like all over the place.
Yeah, that's just this week, man. That's just with this week, brother. Like,
that's amazing. It's crazy, but it's cool. You know, I love hearing wrestlers that they're busy. Like in 2020, before this podcast started, I would literally see this randomly. I don't know how I was following independent wrestling, but I can imagine you guys must have been like, indie wrestlers must have been struggling to like do something, because it was, unless the promotion said, yeah, we're gonna test everybody and have them come and do a show without fans here. That must have been the most difficult part of being a smaller market wrestler.
Yeah, I am very fortunate enough to know that I was not part of that era. I did not start wrestling until last year. And so I was not part of the COVID, but I have heard the stories. I do hair. That's my shoot job. So I'm in contact with someone every single day. And so it's very similar to where like my job was taken away from me as well. I couldn't do hair. I was limited on services and things like that. And so I can only imagine, these wrestlers, I'm sure they're getting paid much less on matches than I am for just doing one head of hair. So the hit that they took for their livelihood, I feel their pain. And I will never be able to understand it because obviously it hit harder for them, but I can relate in a small manner. So I'm glad that we are not in that era anymore, because a lot of people were scared that wrestling wasn't going to be a thing anymore. But I knew it was always going to come back around. I was like, man, wrestling.
I was like, it's coming back. And then Dudes At Ringside was born in 2021. So everybody yelled at me and said,
exactly. And
yeah. I know people that told me, Joe, why did you guys not bring it to life in 2020? I was like, because I had a laptop that was actively, I had a laptop then, but I didn't know that what this could have been if it came out the year before, but I was not that smart. 2020 was kind of complicated stuff. Like, but for you, I noticed your outfits. They're your outfits are very awesome. Who made them? Or did you come up with them, or did you draw them up before you? Like, who made them? Who was the creator?
So you're talking about like my gear?
Yeah, your gear. Yeah.
So my first set of gear I made, and I just kind of came up with myself. There was no drawing. There was no like. Obviously, I think everyone goes on Pinterest and everyone goes on like, to look for their own inspirations and stuff. But it was more of like I've always kind of seen it in my head and ordered things online and altered it the way that I needed to. I definitely pulled a Bianca Belair on my first set and my for my third match as well. I will say my second set of gear, I did order. That one was purchased from Wicked Lester, and Wicked Lester also does Rhea Ripley's gear, Natalia's gear, Maxine Dupree, Shotzi. Fantastic work. We'll definitely order from them again just because the set is fantastic. But I don't know. I think my inspiration for my gear was that the original question? Like the
Yeah, I always love hearing when wrestlers get their gear, who made their gear, like any inspirations for the gear, like when they were created. I know wrestlers that have drawn their gear up and they gave it to the creator, and it's like, I could do this, but it's just gonna take a while. You know what I mean? Like sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And with dance, I mean, I did dance, so costuming was like what we always did every year for competitions. So I did fashion design in high school. I know how to work a sewing machine. So I need to buy a sewing machine, and then that's going to be a game changer. I'm telling you. I won't ever have to buy gear again. Yeah, the inspiration honestly comes from like the Marvel series. To be honest, it comes from the Black Widow. Natasha, that's one of like my favorite characters. And I used to have an obsession with AJ Lee and the Black Widow, her finisher and everything. And so this set has spiders on it. It's got like actual spiders on the top and on the bottoms. And so I was like, this is what I want. I love this. Like, and that's where I love chrome. I'm not a gold person really. I love like being a hairstylist. I always have to wear it black. And so I think that's just naturally my aesthetic. And so the chrome, the reds, the blacks, the red hair and everything, I don't know, it all just kind of like pieced together. I'll definitely venture out into some other colors in the future, but for right now, I'm liking what I've got going on right now. So yeah, but like
Sounds
the jacket,
amazing to me.
yeah, the jackets and stuff I make. But yeah, everything I do myself. So that's one inspiration, Bianca Belair. Like when I watch her make her own stuff and like that, I'm just like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do too.
That's awesome, because like there's a lot of people that not saying that all wrestlers, there's certain wrestlers that depend on a creator, but then you came up with your jacket and stuff like that. But the day before, like the few days before a show, do you have all your gear all ready to know what you're wearing, and so you don't clash with your opponent or anybody else on the roster, so it doesn't look like you're trying to be like the other person? Or do you have an idea where you're going, what you're wearing that day?
I usually have an idea of what I'm going to wear, but I never have it laid out. I'm not organized enough for that. I'll have it, just not laid out. And I think everyone, at least the girls, the girls at Row, we have such different aesthetics, all of us. I don't think that anyone is ever concerned that we're going to clash with each other. And even if we do, like even if we have like a same color scheme, it's never a big deal. It's always like, okay, twin, like it's never an issue. But yeah, again, we have different aesthetics, so that's that. But yeah, I never have it all really fully prepared. It's more of like, okay, I think I might wear this. Maybe it depends on how I'm feeling. It depends on how I'm looking that day too. Then I'll decide whether or not I want to wear that as well.
Do you pack a lunch for the day of the show, just in case if you don't want to eat out with the crew, or do you like decide, okay, on the whim that morning if you want to eat out with the crew, the wrestlers?
I'm usually going to eat out afterwards. 9 times out of 10, I am usually going to want some chicken tenders afterwards.
Okay, you're a chicken tender girl. That's cool.
I discovered that after my debut, actually. We went to go eat afterwards, and I was craving chicken tenders after it. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. Okay. But yeah, if I'm going to wrestle, usually I'm going to eat out afterwards because, yeah. Nothing beats someone else cooking for you.
What is your dipping sauce on the tendies?
Ranch. I'm Texas.
Ranch.
I'm Texas.
I don't know.
Ranch.
There's some crazy people out there that put barbecue
hardcore
sauce on them. They put honey mustard.
I've seen. Yeah, that's cool, but I'm a ranch girly. It's simple. It's wings and ranch and tendies and ranch.
Yeah. Sounds great to me. Sounds like a party to me. Now, if you ever come to PI, now I know what to be like. Can I get 20 tenders, and I'll split the plate. I get half, you get half. Like, we'll split it.
Perfect. That sounds like a plan to me.
Just give me like 15 ranches, just in case.
And a water.
Like,
and a water. Gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah, water and ranch. There's two cups of water. Got it. Like,
yes.
Awesome. Do you guys travel for your shows? Do you guys most indie promotions, they'll go to like this week they'll be like this and then next week they'll be at the other locations. Is there, or do you guys just do your shows at your training facility?
Yeah, no, we stay at our little our castle, as someone told me one time, at our little row castle. So Reality of Wrestling is set up to where we have a giant arena in the front, and that has all of our seating and everything. We have risers, like big risers too. So we've got the Tron, we've got a whole entrance area, like ramp. We've got a hard cam set up completely that's permanent and everything. We've got all of our TVs, concession, and then in the back we have our locker rooms, we have our weightlifting area. We have a gorilla area for before you go out into, your entrance. Media room, and then we have the we've got the 2 training rings in the back. So you can practice in the back and then like to put your matches together, and then you can go to the front and have the show. But all of that is like blocked off by a curtain, so the fans can't see any of all of the magic from behind. So it's really a really cool setup.
Wow, that's cool. So here we go. That's cool. Yeah. I really like that. That's cool. Mm-hmm. So when you're traveling to the show, Maddie, what is on your Spotify playlist?
I'm a SoundCloud girly.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Interview over. Just kidding.
No, you're good. I have Spotify. I haven't used Spotify in a long time, but I'm a SoundCloud girly, and my music playlist ranges, man. Like it depends on my mood, truly. Like if I'm wrestling that night, I'm usually playing, honestly, I feel like I'm so green in the industry right now that I play music that's related to like my entrance music, or I play my entrance music because I'm trying to get in the zone. I'm trying to get ready and like into my like energy. But if I'm just going to work the show, like help out and stuff, I'll play anything from like Tupac to Skrillex to just AC/DC to Ozzy to anything, Wooly, Timmy Trumpet. Like my music is all over the place, man. Like as long as it's like got a good energy and get me ready to go and pumped, that's all I need.
Awesome. If my fans want to follow you on social media, how can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram, and they can find me on Facebook. On Instagram, it is mandy_wylde with a Y. But yeah, I don't have a Twitter, but I guess I should get one of those. I've been told I need to get a Twitter. I don't know. I don't think I'm popular enough for that yet. So maybe if I get to 3,000 followers on Instagram, I'll get a Twitter.
You can do it. We don't. Dudes at Ringside doesn't have Twitter.
By the end of the month, if I get 3,000.
I faith you do it. Dudes at Ringside doesn't have that many. We have a lot of followers, but even though it's kind of sad, I go to follow a new person, and Instagram says you have too many followers to follow somebody back. I'm just like, really?
That's weird. Yeah. I'm not big on like I like social media, but I don't like social media. So like I use it for me, but anything else, I'm just like. I like the funny stuff. Like just get out of here with all that nonsense, you know?
Yeah, same.
It's hard to keep up.
Maddie, if anybody wants to pick up any merch of yours, is there anything out there they could pick up or?
I am actually working on merch as we speak. So people have been hitting me up and asking me about it. So I do think it's time we finally get some wylde merch out there, but it will be coming coming today, the 14th. It also should be coming by the end of the month. So if I can get 3,000 likes, or not likes, followers on Instagram, I'll get a Twitter and new merch by the end of the month. And you'll be able to find that on Instagram. I'll have a link in the bio and everything once it's all set up and ready to go. But I'll have shirts, possibly some lighters, because, you know, I love to play with fire. So I got to have my handy dandy lighter with me at all times. But yeah, other things coming.
Don't forget,
so
if you're gonna put the picture of the T-shirt up on Instagram, Maddie, don't forget the collab with Dudes at Ringside. I would love to help you promote it.
Of course, absolutely. I'll put that up there.
Yeah.
Big things will be coming. So end of the month for sure.
Awesome, Maddie. I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It means a lot to have a young rising star like you. Don't forget to tell Booker I say hi.
I will, of course. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Yeah,
Please tell all your people. I'm Joe Panther III. And that's Mandy Wylde. And that's Mandy Wylde. And we will catch you in the next one.